Welcome to I Wrote This News. Today is February 22nd, 2022. On your mark, get set, here's your news. Today's headline: I scream, you scream, but I'm the one with the frozen ding-a-ling. By the end of the men's 50-kilometer mass start ski race at the Beijing Games over the weekend, Finnish athlete Remi Lindholm was more of an innie than an outie. And we're not talking about his belly button. Lindholm spent just under an hour and 16 minutes traversing the course in howling, bitter winds, leading to what some Winter Olympic trainers call, quote, freezer wheezer. It was just another example of the adage that any news story that includes the words frostbite and penis isn't a happy one. Actually, any news story that includes the words bite and penis isn't a happy one. In fact, now that I think about it, any news story that includes the word penis usually isn't a happy one. Concerned about the likelihood of Olympic popsticles, Sarah's race was delayed by an hour and shortened by 20 kilometers. The thin suits and underlayers worn by racers, as well as plasters to cover their faces and ears, offered little protection. Lindholm explained that he used a heat pack to try to thaw out his little Remi once the race was over, which frankly seems a little too late. When the body parts started to warm up after the finish, the pain was unbearable, he added. Adding insult to injury, Lindholm didn't come anywhere close to winning the event, instead placing 28th out of 59 contestants and 59 out of 59 penises. Lindholm told Finnish media, quote, "It was one of the worst competitions I've been in." Gentle listeners might reasonably assume that spending an hour with a willy that's way beyond chilly would have been Lindholm's worst competition by far. Alas, not. This was the second time for Lindholm, who suffered through a similar incident at a cross-country competition in Ruka, Finland last year. As they say in Finland, quote, "Freeze my penis once, shame on you. Freeze my penis twice, and there will probably be a third or a fourth time down the road." February 22nd is the 53rd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. 312 days remain until the end of the year. Now it's time for On This Date in History. On this date in 1856, the United States Republican Party opens its first national convention in Pittsburgh. On this date in 1862, Jefferson Davis is officially inaugurated for a 6-year term as the President of the Confederate States of America in Richmond, Virginia. He was previously inaugurated as a provisional president on February 18, 1861. On this date in 1889, President Grover Cleveland signs a bill admitting North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and Washington as U.S. states. On this date in 1946, the long telegram proposing how the United States should deal with the Soviet Union arrives from the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. The long telegram, written by George F. Kennan, widely introduced the term containment and advocated for its strategic use against the Soviet Union. Kennan composed the long telegram to respond to inquiries about the implications of a February 1946 speech by Joseph Stalin. Though Stalin's speech was in line with previous statements by Stalin, it provoked fear in the American press and public. Time magazine called it the most warlike pronouncement uttered by any top-ranked statesman since VJ Day. The long telegram explained Soviet motivations by recounting the history of Russian rulers as well as the more recent ideology of Marxism, Leninism. It argued that the Soviet leaders used the ideology to characterize the external world as hostile, allowing them to justify their continued hold on power despite their lack of popular support. Washington bureaucrats quickly read the confidential message and accepted it as the best explanation of Soviet behavior. The reception elevated Kennan's reputation within the State Department as one of the government's foremost Soviet experts, although some historians write that its impact in shaping governmental policy has been overstated. Henry Kissinger referred to it as, quote, "the diplomatic doctrine of the era." Celebrating birthdays today are actor Paul Dooley, actor James Hahn, politician Bill Frist, political advisor David Axelrod, actor Kyle MacLachlan, actress Jerry Ryan, actress Drew Barrymore, and poet Gerald Stern. He turns 97 today. Happy birthday to all of them, and if your birthday is today, a very happy birthday to you as well. By the way, if you or someone you know is having a birthday and would like us to announce it on the show, leave us a voice message or send an email. The links are in the show notes. Today's news was brought to us by Reuters and the website that never freezes, Wikipedia. If you have a comment or a question about anything you've heard today, or if you have a suggestion, please send us a note at I Wrote This News, all one word, at thatradioshow.com. That email address one more time is I Wrote This News, all one word, at thatradioshow.com.
One more thing, if this podcast sounds a little funny, that's because it's also an experiment. All of the vocals were generated using AI technology. Hopefully the show will sound different and better as the tech improves and as we improve at using it. I'm Bob Neese, hoping you have an amazing day. We'll get together again soon.